Hey, good morning, everyone. So good to be back with you again. Today we're going to be in Mark 15, verses 29 through 32. Mark 15, verses 29 through 32. And as you turn there, we know that Jesus has been up for over 24 hours. He's been brutally beaten. He's now hanging on the cross. And we also know that it's sometime between after 9 and before noon, probably 10 o'clock-ish. So picking up in verse 29, and those who passed by blasphemed him, wagging their heads and saying, "Aha, you who destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself and come down from the cross." Just a few short days earlier, they were praising him and ready to make him their king. Now, as Jesus hangs on the cross, there for them, as well as for us, these folks are mocking and taunting him. The words and actions, they're just over the top. They're mean, they're nasty, they're vicious, and they think it's all good. They think it's a good thing that they're doing this. And the decision that they made when they said, "Give us Jesus," and crucify him, that his blood be upon us and our children. It's sad, but that's what they've chosen, and now they think that they've won. So how easy is it for us to turn against the ones that care for us the most when they don't meet our expectations? Jesus didn't meet their expectations as Messiah. He was supposed to come over and overthrow the Roman government. And he didn't do that. It's because this wasn't his mission to start with. But in their minds, that's what they thought. So I know that this happens far too often. It's happened to some of you, and possibly worse yet. You were the one that caused the suffering and the expectations that weren't met, so you became vicious. We just have to be extremely cautious on our daily lives. So as we go on, we're now in verse 31. So likewise the chief priests, also mocking among themselves with the scribes, said, "He saved others, himself he cannot save." Or better translated, can he not save himself? In verse 32, let the Christ, the King of Israel, descend now from the cross, that we may see and believe. Even those who were crucified with him reviled him. Just everyone mocking. But of course, this was predicted back in the Psalms, back in the Old Testament, in addition to Isaiah and Jeremiah and Zechariah. They all predicted all of this was going to go on. So it's for us, we get to see hindsight. They should have known, but they didn't. They choose to ignore it. So the chief priest, what we see right there real quick is the Old Testament, there should have been one high priest, but the high priest that they're talking about here, plural, is the ones that had already served in addition to their families. So this was a large group of people. Now, what we also know is that just days earlier, Jesus had gone through the temple for the final time and just turned over tables and just threw them out because it was a family affair. It was just like the mafia. They had an extortion racket going on, and they were living it up until Jesus came through. And he made them mad. And that was pretty much the final straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. So now they have Jesus on the cross. And it looks like for them, their problem of this Jesus is soon to be over with. But they're in for a very rude awakening. because that's going to all change. So had Jesus saved himself, and as we see in the close of that last verse, in the verses, had he saved himself, he could not save us. He had to die in order that he could save us. You see, many think that the nails kept Jesus on that cross. I believe that the nails couldn't hold him. What I do believe is it was his love for you and me that kept him on the cross. Jesus loves you, and I love you, and I want you guys to have a wonderful day.